That's the sound of my lost parts coming up the driveway, inching along over the backyard piecemeal, scraping and clinking, chiming upon the ornamental paving stones and loose gravel, thumping and rolling like speedy animals under the uncut grass, targeting my precise location for repair and reattachment. The reconnections are satisfying. They go rh-ick, kurlich, zip-fit, the process is cacophonous, dogs scare, sparks ricochet, metal grinds, smoke sputters. My dampened audio sensors deliver me peacefully and babefully, warmly issuing gentle running rumbles of constant and random sweetly flowing noise, and the feeling is fantastic. I appreciate every waking click and harmoniously self-readjusting clack, self-welding fizz, craving the ecstasy and convalescence because soon it will cease and I'll emerge reborn with stalwart purpose, fixed, but not in time. I must be on the move, going. For starters, I'm in need of some new eyes. The smashed lenses in my previous pair cannot be made anew by liquid self-repair. What I have yet is a retractable optic cable spycam which extends through and down my arm to the wrist, and the distorted green picture isn't how I intend to see the world, and so I detach my arm, leaving my invalid body where it is, sending myself on a mission to seek quality cameras that have uncracked, unimpaired lenses. Soon, like a jackpot winner, I attribute the high dose of excitement I tell myself one might logically or naturally be experiencing at this miraculous occurrence, and which therefore I can later recall that I indeed experienced, to the fulfillment of my needs here and now in relation to this unforeseen likelihood. In a nearby house's attic, my arm stumbles upon a backpack-type canvas bag containing the shining camera lenses that will help carry me through the remains of this world very crystal and pristinely. In camera bag possession, my arm opens the attic window and leaps 3 stories safely to the bushes below. Lying there motionless, it detects the approaching thunder of the selfsame monstrous danger my lost parts had originally befallen, and when the coast is clear, my arm, gripping the bag's strap, darts into the arboreal eruptions of the next yard over, taking the long way back.
Chapter 2. We, Kevin and I and the parents, Mom and Dad, were watching television in the living room, and for the first time I had an interest being stimulated by images on the screen. Massive big-wheeled trucks were zooming around a giant cheering and camera flash-filled arena, bearing interesting names plastered on their bodies and easily replaceable parts because they'd disappear and return alive and well, and they'd crash only to vanish and reappear spanking new, and were definitely operated via steering wheels inside their cabs by human operators whose names and visages mattered much less than the trucks themselves. Also more easily replaced. It was the trucks everybody lived, thrived and died by. Certainly all the viewers at home were similarly enchanted, as if they too were in the stands. I looked at Kevin's beaming face illuminated by the refracting images, and I tried to compute the stuff he and the parents chose to verbalize. But I wasn't able to produce the words or responses that something inside me urged I should, until I was forced to shut down. It was the TV, they diagnosed, that fried my circuits, and consequently I couldn't sit with Kevin anymore, not even during the other show which had theretofore been referred to as our show, and they thought they were going to return me the following morning, but I was fine. Luckily Kevin has the final say. Chapter 3. One thing that can be said about my design and not the newer is that, if you want, you can throw me over the Niagara Falls and I will still find myself again, find my way back to you, with a freeze frame of me falling mid-air, my name Armand Argonaut and the company logo. A voice urges you should run to the nearest toy store because your new friend is waiting for you. 4. We had decided on a ride with the strangers who offered, but their truck wasn't like the backflipping car-crushing ones on TV, and so it seemed like they themselves were the monsters, not the truck itself, the driver, passengers, ones hanging on. I hadn't trusted these people, but MacD, Kevin's new toy, the new me and short-lived alliance, said they were street performers. I told MacD the streets were an easy way to get noticed. MacD seemed to think that was the idea. The monsters were discussing our makes and models, which of us was more durable. I think we can find out the answer to that, said one of them. MacD was irreparably destroyed with but a few baseball bat swings to the head, plastic chunks flying everywhere. Then it was my turn, and I was not so easy to break, nor as satisfying. When they exhausted, grew fed up, or bored, throwing the parts they did break off me over the roofs of passing homes, they heaved me out, what remained, my torso housing my central computer brain. I couldn't offer the same heights of enjoyment as MacD or the fast truck they crashed through yards with and burned rubber and blasting music from, yipping drunkenly, howling like the lunatic audience from those TV shows about the audiences themselves. Maybe everybody watches from grandstands somewhere unseen, flashing cameras, and sometimes females their pay-per-view unmentionables. 6. After school days, Kevin would come home and say things like, "I wish I could take you to school so that way you could help me keep people at a distance." They don't even believe me when I say my parents bought me an Armand Argonaut, the intrepid American space cadet, who, by inexplicable phenomenon or the incalculable mysteries of the universe and molten lava, fuses with his spaceship, becomes one and the same. Then they pretend like they haven't even seen the commercials, which doesn't make sense because how would they even know? Well, that's just as well anyway. Why should anyone else get to have one?